Hello, good day to everyone who's watching this video. So in this we will study the concept of equal area criteria. Okay, so we are seeing the equal area criteria. Okay, see what is the this equal area criteria is. Okay, so this is the part of the stability. Okay, and which stability? See, transient stability is judged with the help of your equal area criteria, and this transient stability is also known as large signal stability. Okay, see, in this is what is happening is, see, that is during faults. If one of your, like, see, this is your power system, there are two transmission lines and this is your generator, and maybe this is your another bus, and here maybe load there. Okay, so during fault occurs and this line gets removed. Okay, the fault occurs in the second line. So what will happen is your power transfer will be reduced. Okay, see, like if the reactance of this line is x and this is x, so the total equivalent reactance will be the parallel, that is x by 2. But if the fault occurs in this line, that means this line gets removed. Okay, so only the equivalent reactance is now reduced to x. That is, initially your power before fault was ev by x by 2, but after fault your power is, real power transfer is ev by x. Okay, so your power transfer is reduced. So in such cases we use this equal area criteria. Okay, and in this equal area criteria you must remember that this criteria is used for only for two machines or single machines. Okay, so this you have to remember. This is applicable only for single machine connected to bus or two machines connected with each other. Okay, so that is the limitation of equal area criteria. If the case is of many machines or many buses, then the thing that you use is you have to solve your swing equation. Okay, swing equation is h upon pi f d2 delta by dt square is equal to Pm minus P. Okay, so on swing equation there might be some other video on our website. Okay, so visit that video. But this equal area criteria you must remember is that this is used for the transient stability case, and it is applicable for the single machine and two machines. And what we are going to use is this only, that is your swing equation. Okay, so now let me manipulate this swing equation to get you this thing. See, your swing equation is given by m d2 delta by dt square is equal to your Pm minus Pe. See, Pm is your mechanical power, Pe is your electrical power, and Pm minus Pe will give you your accelerating power. Okay, and this is m d2 delta by dt square. Okay, so see, now just to give you a brief insight, what you can understand is, see, this is your generator. Okay, this generator is coupled to your what, prime mover. Okay, prime mover can be any turbine. It can be steam turbine, it can be water turbine, or it can be other thing also, but it has to be a turbine that will move your generator rotor. Okay, so that is clear. Now see, this Pm means the mechanical input power, that is the power you input from your turbine. Okay, so Pm is the mechanical input power, and your P is the what, the electrical power that is generated by this generator. Okay, so if you are considering system totally lossless, then what is happening is, so ideally what is happening is that your the mechanical input that you give to the generator, your electrical output should be equal to your mechanical input. So that is your stable conditions, and that too we are considering ideally, because we are not considering any kind of losses. Okay, so stable means that your Pm is equal to P. Now see what happens. See, if by chance your Pe reduces, okay, or your Pm increases, okay, so what to do? So that in that cases what will happen? See, like if your Pm is becomes greater than P, okay, if the situation becomes in this fashion, that is, your Pm becomes greater than P, then see what is happening. See, Pm becomes greater than P, so what will happen? You have to increase your P so that it becomes equal to Pm. Okay, so see, or you have to reduce your PM so that it becomes equal to PE. So that is the only two possibilities, because in the end you want your system to be stable, you want PM equal to PE. So either to make this condition, that is PM equal to PE, either you have to reduce your PM or you have to increase your PE. See, now see in power systems what is happening. See, to increase or decrease PM is not in your hands. Okay, so it is not the, this is the equation for the alternator. Okay, so increasing PM is not in your hand. That is your, you are giving the turbine input. That is your like if you put extra stream or you control the valve of the steam that is giving, that you are giving to the turbine, through that thing you can control your PM. But in this equation you don't have your hands on PM. Okay, so what this equation does is, see, if your PM becomes greater than PE, then your, the only possible way is to increase your PE. So what will happen, this will be become your accelerating power. Okay, so what will happen, the system will try to make PE equal to PM. Okay, and then when it becomes PM equal to PE, then again your system is stable. So that is the feel I would like to give you. Okay, so equal area criteria is all playing with this equation. Okay, so now let us manipulate this equation a little bit to give you the mathematical relations that could be used and the field. Okay, so the equation was m d2 delta by dt square is equal to PA is equal to PM minus PE. Okay, here your PA is accelerating power. See, if your PE is greater than PM, then this becomes your deaccelerating power. Okay, so here PA is accelerating power. Okay, so now your d2 delta by dt square is equal to PA by M. Okay, you can write it in this fashion, 2d delta by dt, d2 delta by dt square, and you multiply this side also by what, 2d delta by dt. Okay, so now uh, if you solve this equation, okay, how, because you manipulated this, and you can write this equation as this also. Okay, see, you don't need to remember this just I am giving you for your information sake. Okay, and I also won't do the total derivation here to solve this equation. Okay, so ultimately you solve this equation that I have written in purple, and you get your answer for d delta by dt as under root 2 by m integral PA d delta. Okay, d delta. So for oscillatory behavior, okay, your d delta should be equal to 0. Okay, so that is okay, so for this is for non-oscillatory behavior. Okay, so I hope you get this, because you don't want your system to be oscillatory. Okay, so for non-oscillatory behavior, your change in delta should be 0. Okay, so your d delta by dt equal to 0, and this implies your PA d delta equal to 0. Okay, so see, this is your equal area criteria, that is your accelerating power into area of your d delta region is equal to 0. So this is the equation that we use. Okay, so now see, that was not very much needed. If you could remember this equation only, then that is sufficient. And also I have not explained this derivation in much detail because it is not necessary. So what is necessary, that I will tell you. Okay, so that is, see, what you have to remember, this thing, PA d delta is equal to 0. Now how you solve the questions using this, that is very important. In gate question solving is very important. So see, what is happening is, see, this is your system. Okay, and this is your CPF. Real power is given by EV by X sine delta. Okay, so that curve only I have drawn, P and delta. So let me say your, this is your PE. Okay, I hope you know that this is your PE. Now let me say your PM is this thing, that is your mechanical power input is this thing. Now under the stable conditions, I have told you that your PM will be equal to P. So the point will be this one. See here only your PM is equal to PE. This is your PE. Okay. So this is your, let me say, is delta naught, that initially your system is stable and it is there. Now see what happened is you increase your PM. I have told you that I gave PM greater than P. That is, you increased your PM to some, let me say this was PM1. You increase your PM to this value, that is PM2. Okay, so now your operating point shifts and it becomes this thing. Okay, that is delta 1. Okay, see now what is happening. So now listen to me carefully, and if you just get the feel of this, no, then you will solve any question. Okay, so what you have to play, you have to just play with these things only. This formula and PM generally won't change in questions. In during fault, your this PE varies. Okay, so your this sine curve, that is this green curve, varies. Okay, so that is so. But here I am just giving you trying to give you the feel. So that is the way to understand. See what is happening. You increase your turbine input to PM12. Turbine, that is a mechanical power input, is increased from PM1 to PM2. Okay, so at point A, what is happening is your PM1 is equal to P. Okay, now see what happens. Suddenly your now PM1 increases to PM2. Okay, that is your PM greater than becomes PE, because PE was at point A only I am discussing. At PE, your system was under stable conditions, but at point A suddenly your PM becomes greater than PE. So that means your this is your PA, that is you have your accelerating power. So accelerating power means that what? See, accelerating power means that your d2 delta by dt square greater than 0. Okay, so this means your rotor is accelerated. So that means your d delta by dt is accelerated. So that means that if your rotor, if your generator was moving with synchronous speed omega s, so now your generator alternator speed will become omega greater than omega s. Okay, so as your omega becomes greater than omega s, now, so your system will now try to make itself stable. So what will happen is that your PE will increase up to this thing, that is your PM2 will try to become equal to, that is PE will try to become equal to PM2, that is your operating point shift is to, that is now you come at point B. Okay, so at point B your PM2 becomes equal to PE. Okay, but here see, but here your d delta by dt is increasing, because this is due to the inertia of the system. Here still your d delta by dt is increasing from here. Okay, no matter at this point your PM2 becomes equal to PU, your accelerating power is greater than 0, but at PM2 equal to PE, your accelerating power becomes equal to 0, but your d delta by dt still increases. Okay, so what happens? Your system moves beyond point B. Okay, your system, let us say, moves to point C. So system moves to point C. Okay, so but when it moves to point C, here your d delta by dt also becomes 0. Okay, so but at this point, what is happening? At this point your PE is greater than PM. Okay, so now what is happening? There is a what? De-accelerating power. Now PA is less than 0. That is your de-accelerating power. Okay, see, are you seeing the difference? What is happening? So since your PA becomes less than 0, now this implies, okay, your PA becomes less than 0, that is de-accelerating. So what does this imply? That your system starts moving towards B. Why? See, deaccelerating means that your d2 delta by dt square is less than 0. So your d delta by dt is less than 0. That is your omega is decreasing. That is your omega is less than omega s. Okay. so your angle is decreasing. Okay, so your system is coming towards point B. Okay, so now again at point B, what is happening? Now at point B, again your d2 delta by dt square becomes 0, that is there is no deaccelerating power, but your d delta by dt becomes less than 0. So your omega is still less than omega s and your system moves towards where? Your system moves towards A. See, but this time your system won't reach A, it will reach some point less than A. Okay, because due to the what you can say, if you consider the losses, or else your system will remain oscillating between C, B and A points. Okay, so that is the field that is happening. Okay, so are you getting it? What is happening? So see, now what is this equal area criteria is that now equal area criteria is always applicable only to the first swing. First swing means that your system moves from A to B, then it moves from B to C. Okay, so this is your first swing. Okay, and now again if it is moving from C to A, that is your second swing, but your equal area criteria we always apply, it is only applicable for the first swing, so that you need to remember. That's why you no need to worry about this thing. Okay, but it will oscillate across this point B. Okay, so but in the practical systems there is some friction and other losses, so your system becomes stable after some oscillations around point B. Okay, so I hope I gave you the feel that is what is exactly happening. Okay, so now let us see this figure again. Okay, and just try to see what is this equal area criteria. Okay, see now what has happened. See, now your system was initially at point A. Okay, so what happens? Your system jumps to point B. Okay, your mechanical power suddenly jumps to point B. Okay, so this region that I am shading with this light green. Okay, this region. So this much amount of power is what? This is your accelerating power. Why? Because this due to this power only, because your PM increases, your PM1 increased from PM1 to PM2, and thus your PM becomes greater than P, and this is your what? So this is your accelerating power. So this power should be equal to the this power. Okay, the point at which your this d delta by dt becomes equal to 0. Okay, so at point C this happens. So this region that I am shading with pink. Okay, so this green region and this pink region should be equal. So that is your equal area criteria. Okay, so if I mark this as A1 and if I mark this as A2, so A1 should be equal to A2 for system to be stable. So that is your equal area criteria, and we apply it only for the first swing. So that is very important. Okay, so this is what is equal area criteria, and this is your what? Accelerating area. I hope you get this, because your PM increases so that your PM becomes greater than P, and thus your d2 delta by dt square becomes greater than 0. How it is becoming greater than 0? Because we have this equation, where our swing equation, yes, this thing. See, if d2 delta by dt square becomes greater than 0, that means your PM is greater than P. Okay, so I hope you get this now, and this is your what? Deaccelerating area. Okay. So see, that is the feel of this equal area criteria. Okay, so I hope I was able to give you exactly what is happening in the equal area criteria and what is this. See, we just apply this equal area criteria in a variety of questions, and we just draw the figures and try to find out the equal areas. So always you must be very much comfortable in judging the areas and what is happening. So that insight comes from if you could understand this discussion. Okay, so I hope I made this clear to you. Thank you and have a nice day.